Yukio Seki was born on September 29, 1921, in Iyo Saijo, a small town in Shikoku, Japan. His parents ran an antique store specializing in tea ceremony utensils, which provided a modest but culturally rich upbringing. From an early age, Seki was exposed to naval training courses at his middle school, which sparked his interest in a military career. This early exposure to naval life set the stage for his future as a naval aviator. In 1938, Seki applied to enroll in the War Academy of both the Imperial Navy and the Ground Forces. He was accepted to both, but chose the Japanese Naval Academy at Shikishima. During his time at the academy, his father passed away, and his mother closed the antique shop to live alone. Seki graduated in 1941, just 1 month before the attack on Pearl Harbor, and was ordered to serve on the battleship Fuso. His early career saw rapid advancements, and by June 1941, he was promoted to lieutenant. Seki's initial assignments included serving on the seaplane carrier Chitose, where he participated in several naval actions, including a minor role in the Battle of Midway. In 1942, he returned to Japan to enroll in the Naval Flying Academy at Kasumigara, Ibaraki. After completing his basic training, he was transferred to Usa in Oita Prefecture to be trained as a dive bomber operating from carriers. By January 1944, Seki had become an instructor at Kasumigara, demonstrating his proficiency in leadership in aviation. During his time as an instructor, Seki became friends with the Watanabe family in Kamakura and fell in love with their daughter, Mariko. In a rather spontaneous decision, Seki and his colleagues decided to get married on the same day. Seki proposed to Mariko, and they were married on May 31st, 1944. His mother, Seki, was the only relative from his side to attend the wedding. After the wedding, Seki and Mariko moved into a house close to the Flying Academy, but their time together was short-lived due to Seki's military commitments. In September 1944, Seki was transferred to Tainan, Taiwan, and then to the 201st Flotilla in the Philippines as the leader of the 301st Fighter Unit. Their base was initially at Nichols Field, south of Manila, but was later moved to Clark Field in Mabalacat due to increasing American attacks. During this time, Vice Admiral Takijiro Onishi was planning the first kamikaze attack, and Seki was given the opportunity by Group Commander Asaichi Tamai to lead a special attack squadron. Seki's decision to lead the kamikaze mission was not taken lightly. He is said to have closed his eyes, lowered his head, and thought for 10 seconds before agreeing to the mission. Seki's acceptance marked the beginning of his role as the leader of the Shikishima squadron, which conducted the first official kamikaze attack. On October 25, 1944, during the Battle of Leyte Gulf, Seki led a unit of 5 bomb-armed Mitsubishi Zero fighters in a kamikaze attack against the U.S. escort carrier USS St. This attack was part of a larger operation involving multiple kamikaze units launched from bases in the Philippines. Seki's plane, along with those of his squadron, crash-dived into the flight deck of the USS St. causing catastrophic damage and sinking the ship. This marked the first successful kamikaze attack to sink an enemy ship, making Seki a significant figure in the history of kamikaze missions. The kamikaze attacks, including Seki's mission, had a profound psychological impact on the American forces. The willingness of Japanese pilots to sacrifice their lives in suicide missions was a tactic that the United States had never encountered before. This strategy aimed to inflict maximum damage on the numerically superior American fleet and to instill fear and uncertainty among the Allied forces. Seki's actions and those of his fellow kamikaze pilots were celebrated in Japan as acts of supreme sacrifice and patriotism. Ceremonies were held before kamikaze pilots departed on their final missions, where they shared ceremonial cups of sake or water, composed death poems, and carried prayers from their families. These rituals were deeply rooted in the samurai tradition and were intended to honor the pilots' bravery and dedication to their country. Seki's legacy is commemorated in various ways, including monuments and memorials dedicated to his memory and the kamikaze pilots. His story is often cited as an example of the extreme measures taken by Japan during the final stages of World War II and the complex motivations behind the kamikaze missions. While the kamikaze pilots, including Seki, are often portrayed as volunteers driven by patriotism, there is evidence to suggest that coercion and peer pressure played significant roles in their decisions. First-hand interviews with surviving kamikaze and escort pilots reveal that their motivations were complex and not solely based on a desire to bring honor to their families or country. Many were motivated by a desire to protect their families from perceived atrocities and possible extinction at the hands of the Allies. Seki himself expressed ambivalence about the kamikaze missions. He reportedly stated, "Japan's future is bleak if it is forced to kill one of its best pilots. And I am not going on this mission for the Emperor or for the Empire. I am going because I was ordered to." These statements reflect the internal conflict faced by many kamikaze pilots who were torn between their sense of duty and their personal reservations about the missions. Lieutenant Yukio Seki's life and career encapsulate the complexities and tragedies of the kamikaze missions during World War II. From his early life in Iyo Saijo to his final act of sacrifice in the Battle of Leyte Gulf, Seki's story is one of dedication, bravery, and profound internal conflict. His legacy as the first kamikaze pilot to sink an enemy ship is a testament to the extreme measures taken by Japan in the face of impending defeat and the enduring impact of these missions on both Japanese and American histories. Seki's story serves as a poignant reminder of the human cost of war and the lengths to which individuals and nations will go in the pursuit of their goals. As we reflect on his life in the broader context of the kamikaze missions, it is essential to consider the complex motivations and pressures that drove these young men to make the ultimate sacrifice.